What if I told you that the sugar-free coffee you drink every morning could be affecting your circulation in ways that most seniors never suspect? Not tomorrow, not years from now. I'm talking about what may be happening inside your body within minutes of taking that first sip. And what happens next may shock you. For decades, we've heard warnings about sugar. Doctors tell us to reduce it. Nutrition experts encourage us to avoid it. Food companies proudly place sugar-free labels on everything from drinks to desserts. So naturally, many older adults assume that sugar-free coffee must be one of the healthiest choices they can make. But here's what most people don't realize. Once you pass the age of 60, your body no longer responds to food and drinks the same way it did when you were younger. Your blood vessels change, your circulation changes, your hydration needs change. Even the way your heart and nervous system react to caffeine can change. And that's where things become surprisingly complicated. Because while sugar-free coffee may help some aspects of your health, it may also trigger effects that very few people are talking about. Effects that can influence your energy, your balance, your hands and feet, and even how steady you feel when walking. The surprising part is that many seniors experience these changes every day without ever connecting them to their morning coffee. They simply assume it's part of getting older. But is it? That's exactly what we're going to uncover today. And I encourage you to stay until the end because one of the solutions we'll discuss later is so simple that many people overlook it completely. Yet it may have a greater impact on circulation than anything you can buy in a bottle. Now, if you're over 60, I want you to think about something. Have you ever noticed that your feet seem colder than they used to be? Perhaps your legs feel tired after walking short distances. Maybe your hands occasionally feel numb. Or perhaps you sometimes stand up and feel slightly dizzy for a moment before your balance returns. If you've experienced any of these things, you're not alone. Millions of older adults notice changes like these every year. Some begin avoiding long walks. Others stop participating in activities they once loved. Many become worried about falling. And behind those worries is something deeper. A fear that independence may slowly be slipping away. I understand those concerns. As we age, maintaining mobility becomes one of the most important factors in preserving quality of life. The ability to walk confidently, the ability to visit friends, the ability to shop independently, the ability to enjoy time with grandchildren. These things matter. And that's why circulation matters so much. Because circulation is not just about blood moving through your body. It's about delivering oxygen and nutrients where they're needed most. It's about supporting muscles, organs, nerves, and overall energy. When circulation works well, your body has the resources it needs to perform daily activities. When circulation becomes less efficient, the effects can appear in many unexpected ways. But here's what most seniors never hear from their doctor. Many circulation-related issues don't begin with dramatic symptoms. They begin quietly, subtly, almost invisibly. A little more fatigue, a little less stamina, a little more discomfort during daily activities. Small changes that gradually become normal. And because they happen slowly, most people never stop to ask why. Now, before we go any further, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Dr. Richard Ben, and here on Secrets of Health, my mission is to help adults over 60 stay active, informed, and independent for as long as possible. Every week, we discuss practical health information designed specifically for seniors. So if that's important to you, make sure you're subscribed to Secrets of Health. And while you're watching, leave a comment with the number 1 if you're committed to taking better care of your health this year. I always enjoy reading your comments and hearing from our wonderful community. Now let's get back to today's topic, because what we're about to discuss is where things become truly interesting. Most people assume the only concern with coffee is caffeine. But that's not the entire story. In fact, focusing only on caffeine causes many people to miss the bigger picture. Think of your circulatory system like a vast network of roads and highways. Your blood vessels are the roads, your blood is the traffic, and your heart is the engine keeping everything moving. When everything functions properly, traffic flows smoothly. But over time, those roads can become less flexible. Traffic may slow down. Certain areas may not receive resources as efficiently as they once did. Now imagine introducing a substance that influences blood vessel activity, hydration levels, nervous system responses, and energy production all at the same time. That's essentially what happens when coffee enters the body. For some people, the effects are beneficial. For others, the effects may be less helpful. And the reason why often surprises people. Because the hidden issue isn't necessarily the coffee itself. The hidden issue is what happens when coffee interacts with age-related changes already taking place inside the body. And that's not even the most important part. What many seniors don't realize is that the body's response can vary dramatically depending on hydration status, medication use, circulation health, activity level, and even the time of day coffee is consumed. Two people can drink the exact same cup of sugar-free coffee and experience completely different outcomes. One may feel energized and alert. The other may experience symptoms they never connect to coffee at all. This is one reason the topic remains so misunderstood. Most discussions focus on younger adults. Most studies highlighted in the media focus on general populations. But very few conversations specifically address what happens after age 60, when the body begins operating under a different set of rules. And that lack of information creates confusion. Many seniors assume that if something is sugar-free, it must automatically support circulation. Others assume coffee is harmful for everyone. The truth is much more nuanced than either of those beliefs. And the good news is that understanding these differences can help you make smarter decisions without giving up the habits you enjoy. Because this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. It's about understanding how your body works. And once you understand that, you can make adjustments that may help support better circulation, better energy, and greater confidence in daily life. But here's where things get really surprising. There is one specific factor connected to sugar-free coffee that most seniors overlook completely. Yet this single factor may explain why some people feel energized after drinking coffee, while others notice cold hands, tired legs, dizziness, or fluctuations in how they feel throughout the day. Most people never consider it. Most doctors rarely discuss it during routine visits. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your morning coffee the same way again. In the next section, I'm going to reveal the first solution and explain why it may be one of the easiest and most powerful ways to support healthy circulation without giving up your favorite morning drink. And trust me, the answer is not what most people expect. Now let's reveal the first solution, because this is where many seniors discover that the problem was never what they thought it was. When people hear discussions about coffee and circulation, they often focus entirely on caffeine. But here's what most people don't realize. For many older adults, one of the biggest factors influencing circulation isn't the coffee itself. It's what they're not drinking before they have their coffee. The surprising part is that many seniors wake up mildly dehydrated every single morning. Think about it. Your body spends 6, 7, or even 8 hours without water while you're sleeping. During that time, you continue breathing, sweating slightly, and losing fluids. By morning, your body is already starting the day with less water than it needs. Now imagine reaching immediately for a large cup of coffee. What happens next may shock you. Your body may struggle to maintain optimal hydration levels, especially if you don't replace those fluids later. When hydration drops, blood can become more concentrated. Circulation may become less efficient, and some seniors begin noticing symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, headaches, or cold extremities. This is why solution number 1 is incredibly simple. Drink a full glass of water before your first cup of sugar-free coffee. That's it. No expensive supplements, no complicated routines, just water. Many seniors who adopt this habit report feeling more energetic throughout the morning. Some notice fewer episodes of lightheadedness. Others simply feel more refreshed. The good news is that this solution costs almost nothing and takes less than a minute. But here's an important mistake many people make. They assume drinking water later in the day will solve the problem. Unfortunately, waiting several hours means your body may spend the most active part of the morning operating below its ideal hydration level. Instead, make water the first thing your body receives after waking. Then enjoy your coffee. That small adjustment may create a surprisingly large difference. Now let's move to solution number 2. And this one surprises almost everyone. Most seniors believe coffee gives them energy, and technically, that's true. But here's what most people don't realize. Coffee doesn't actually create energy. It temporarily changes how your brain perceives fatigue. That's a very important distinction. Imagine a warning light appearing on your car dashboard. Putting tape over the warning light doesn't fix the issue. It simply prevents you from seeing it. In a similar way, caffeine can temporarily reduce the sensation of tiredness. But if poor circulation, lack of movement, poor sleep, or dehydration are contributing to fatigue, coffee cannot solve those underlying issues. This leads many seniors into a common trap. They feel tired, they drink more coffee, they still feel tired later, so they drink even more coffee. Eventually, they become dependent on repeated stimulation throughout the day. And that's where problems can begin. The surprising part is that excessive caffeine may sometimes increase nervousness, interfere with sleep, and create fluctuations in how you feel throughout the day. Then poor sleep leads to more fatigue. which leads to more coffee, and the cycle continues. This is why solution number 2 is moderation. For many seniors, 1 or 2 cups per day may be sufficient. The goal is not to eliminate coffee. The goal is to use it wisely. Pay attention to how your body responds. Do you feel energized? Do you feel jittery? Do you notice heart palpitations? Do you experience difficulty sleeping later? Your body is constantly providing information. The key is learning to listen. I once spoke with a gentleman in his 70s who believed aging was the reason he felt exhausted every afternoon. For years, he blamed his age. Then he realized he was drinking coffee throughout the entire day. When he reduced his intake and improved his hydration, he noticed a remarkable improvement in both energy and sleep quality. The problem wasn't aging. The problem was the cycle he had unknowingly created. And that's not even the most important part. Because the next solution may be the most overlooked circulation booster of all. In fact, it's something your body was designed to do naturally. Yet millions of seniors spend too little time doing it. Solution number 3 is movement immediately after coffee. Now stay with me because this is where things become fascinating. Most people think coffee creates energy. But what if I told you that movement may unlock far more benefits than the coffee itself? Think of your muscles as thousands of tiny pumps. Every time you walk, your leg muscles contract. Those contractions help push blood back toward the heart. This supports circulation throughout the body. When you sit for long periods, that pumping action becomes limited. Blood flow becomes less active. Your body loses one of its most powerful circulation support systems. Now imagine combining coffee with movement. You receive the alertness from the coffee. Then you use that alertness to become active. The result can be dramatically different from simply sitting in a chair for the next 2 hours. The good news is that you don't need an intense workout. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need special equipment. Even a 5-minute walk can make a difference. Walk around your house. Walk through your yard. Walk down the street and back. The goal is simply to get your body moving. I often tell seniors that circulation loves movement. The body was built for activity, and while aging changes many things, that basic principle remains the same. Most seniors never hear this from their doctor because appointments are often short and focused on immediate concerns. But daily movement may be one of the most powerful tools available for supporting circulation. And here's something remarkable. Many people who begin taking short walks after their morning coffee report improved energy, better mood, and greater confidence throughout the day. Not because they changed everything, but because they changed one simple habit. One habit became 2. 2 habits became 3. And before long, they were creating momentum. That's how meaningful health improvements often happen. Not through dramatic transformations, but through small, consistent actions repeated day after day. Now you might be thinking that these solutions sound almost too simple. Water, moderation, walking. Can those really make a difference? The surprising answer is yes, because the body often responds best to fundamentals. But here's where things become even more interesting. The next 3 solutions involve factors that many seniors completely overlook. One of them is hiding in kitchens across America. Another affects blood vessels every single day. And the final one may determine whether circulation improves or continues declining over time. Most people never connect these factors to their morning coffee routine, but once you understand them, you'll begin seeing the entire picture differently. And trust me, what we're about to discuss next may be the most valuable part of this entire conversation. Now we're getting to the solutions that most seniors rarely hear about. And if you've stayed with me this far, you're about to discover why some people continue struggling with circulation despite drinking sugar-free coffee, staying active, and trying to make healthy choices. Because the truth is that coffee is only one piece of a much larger puzzle. And here's what most people don't realize. Sometimes the biggest influence on circulation isn't what you're drinking. It's what you're eating alongside it. That brings us to solution number 4. Pay close attention to what accompanies your coffee. The surprising part is that many seniors carefully avoid sugar in their coffee, but unknowingly consume foods that work against their circulation throughout the rest of the day. Think about a typical breakfast: a sweet pastry, processed toast products, packaged snacks, highly refined foods. Many of these foods are easy to eat and convenient to prepare, but they often provide very little nutritional support for healthy blood vessels. Your circulatory system depends on nutrients to function properly. Blood vessels need support. Cells need nourishment. Your body constantly repairs and maintains itself using the building blocks you provide through food. When those building blocks are missing, the body has fewer resources available to perform those tasks efficiently. The good news is that improving circulation doesn't require a perfect diet. Many seniors become discouraged because they think healthy eating means giving up everything they enjoy. That's simply not true. Small improvements matter. Adding berries to breakfast, including leafy greens during lunch, eating more beans, nuts, vegetables, and colorful fruits. These choices may provide compounds that help support healthy blood vessel function. I remember speaking with a woman in her early 70s who felt frustrated because she was doing everything she thought was right. She drank sugar-free coffee. She avoided desserts. She took daily walks. Yet she still complained about low energy and cold feet. When she looked closely at her meals, she realized most of her diet consisted of highly processed convenience foods. Over time, she gradually replaced some of those foods with more nutrient-rich options. Within a few months, she noticed meaningful improvements in how she felt. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily. That's how many health improvements occur. Slowly enough that people almost miss them. And that's not even the most important part, because the next solution involves something many seniors consume every day without realizing its potential impact. Solution number 5 is paying attention to artificial sweeteners and additives. Now, this topic often creates confusion. Some people tolerate artificial sweeteners without any noticeable issues. Others find that certain products leave them feeling different afterward. The key point isn't fear. The key point is awareness. Most seniors never hear this from their doctor because responses can vary significantly from one person to another. Your body is unique. Its reactions are unique. And paying attention to those reactions can be extremely valuable. For example, some people notice digestive discomfort after consuming certain sugar substitutes. Others report increased cravings later in the day. Some feel no effects whatsoever. This is why becoming an observer of your own body is so important. Ask yourself simple questions. How do I feel 30 minutes after drinking this? How do I feel 2 hours later? Do I notice changes in energy? Do I feel satisfied or unusually hungry? Do I experience discomfort? The surprising part is that many people spend years ignoring signals their bodies are sending every day. Then, when they finally begin paying attention, patterns start appearing. Patterns they never noticed before. Remember, health isn't just about following rules. It's about understanding how your individual body responds. That knowledge becomes incredibly powerful. Now let's move to solution number 6. And in many ways, this solution may be one of the most important long-term investments you can make in your circulation, because it addresses a mistake that has become increasingly common among older adults. The mistake is prolonged sitting. What happens next may shock you. Research and experience consistently show that long periods of sitting can contribute to circulation challenges. Yet millions of seniors spend much of the day seated. Television, reading, computer use, phone use, meals, driving, all of these activities add up. Before long, hours pass with very little movement. Here's why that matters. Remember when we talked about muscles acting like pumps? Those pumps only work when they're activated. When you move your legs, your muscles assist blood flow. When you remain still for extended periods, that assistance decreases. The surprising part is that even people who exercise regularly can still spend too much time sitting. Someone might take a morning walk and then remain seated for most of the remaining day. The walk is beneficial, but long periods of inactivity can still create challenges. This is why I encourage seniors to think beyond formal exercise. Instead, think about movement throughout the day. Stand up every hour, walk across the room, stretch gently, march in place for a minute. Perform a few calf raises while holding onto a sturdy surface. These actions may seem insignificant, but here's what most people don't realize. Circulation responds to consistency more than intensity. Small bursts of movement repeated throughout the day can be remarkably powerful. I once met an 80-year-old gentleman who remained incredibly active. People constantly asked about his secret. They expected him to describe an advanced fitness program. Instead, he laughed and said something very simple. I never stay seated for too long. That was it. He kept moving. Not excessively, not obsessively, just consistently. And over time, those small actions added up. There's a lesson in that. Many seniors underestimate the power of ordinary habits. They search for complicated answers while overlooking simple ones. Yet simple habits often create extraordinary results when repeated long enough. The good news is that it's never too late to begin. Whether you're 62 or 92, your body can still benefit from increased movement. Your circulation can still respond. Your strength can still improve. Your confidence can still grow. That's one of the most encouraging truths about aging. The body remains adaptable far longer than most people believe. But here's what most people don't realize. there is still one final lesson we haven't discussed. And in many ways, it may be the most important takeaway of this entire video, because it brings everything together: hydration, coffee, movement, nutrition, daily habits, independence. The next section reveals why some seniors maintain vibrant energy and mobility well into their later years, while others gradually lose confidence in their abilities. The answer isn't what most people expect, and once you understand it, you'll never think about healthy aging the same way again. We've covered hydration. We've discussed moderation. We've talked about movement, nutrition, artificial sweeteners, and the hidden dangers of sitting too long. But now it's time for the most important takeaway of all. And surprisingly, it has very little to do with coffee itself. What I'm about to tell you may be the single biggest reason some seniors remain active, independent, and confident well into their 80s and 90s, while others gradually begin giving up activities they once enjoyed. But here's what most people don't realize. The difference is rarely one dramatic decision. It's rarely one miracle food. It's rarely one supplement. And it's certainly not one cup of coffee. The difference is the collection of small daily habits repeated consistently over time. The surprising part is that many seniors spend years searching for a single answer, a secret, a shortcut, a miracle solution. Yet the body doesn't usually work that way. Think about how a garden grows. You don't water it once and expect it to thrive forever. You don't fertilize it one time and assume the work is finished. You care for it consistently. A little attention today, a little attention tomorrow. And over time, those small actions create something remarkable. Your body works in much the same way. Every glass of water, every short walk, every nutritious meal, every night of quality sleep, every decision to get up and move. These choices may seem small in the moment, but together, they create momentum. And momentum is powerful. Most seniors never hear this from their doctor because healthcare visits often focus on treating problems after they appear. But many of the most important health improvements happen long before a problem becomes severe. They happen through prevention, through awareness, through daily habits. The good news is that you don't need perfection. In fact, perfection often causes people to quit. They create impossible plans. They miss a day. Then they become discouraged. Instead, focus on progress. If you normally drink no water before coffee, start with 1 glass. If you rarely walk, begin with 5 minutes. If you spend hours sitting, stand up once every hour. Small steps are still steps, and small steps repeated consistently can take you surprisingly far. I remember speaking with a retired teacher who felt discouraged about aging. She often talked about the things she could no longer do, the activities she had stopped enjoying, the energy she believed was gone forever. One day, she decided to focus on one simple goal, just one. She began taking a short walk after breakfast every day. Nothing dramatic, nothing exhausting, just a short walk. Weeks later, she noticed her stamina improving. Months later, she was walking farther. She felt more confident, more capable, more independent. The interesting thing was that the walk itself wasn't the only change. The walk led to other positive choices. She drank more water, she slept better, she became more active throughout the day. One healthy habit created another. And that's exactly how lasting change often happens. Not through giant leaps, through small victories, one at a time. Now let's talk about a simple daily action plan that can help bring everything we've discussed together. When you wake up in the morning, begin with a full glass of water. Give your body the hydration it needs after a night of sleep. Then enjoy your sugar-free coffee if you choose to drink it. Pay attention to how your body responds. Notice your energy. Notice your mood. Notice how you feel throughout the day. After your coffee, spend 5 to 10 minutes walking. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be strenuous. Just move. Allow your muscles to support healthy circulation. Throughout the day, avoid sitting for long periods without getting up. Stand, stretch, take a few steps. Keep your body engaged. Choose foods that nourish you. Add fruits. Add vegetables. Add nutrient-rich options whenever possible. And finally, protect your sleep, because the body performs some of its most important recovery work while you rest. These habits may sound simple. That's because they are. But here's what most people don't realize. Simple habits are often the ones people actually follow. And habits only work when they're practiced consistently. Now let's imagine something together. Imagine waking up with greater confidence. Imagine walking through the grocery store without worrying as much about fatigue. Imagine feeling steadier on your feet. Imagine having the energy to spend more time with family, friends, children, and grandchildren. Imagine maintaining your independence longer. Those are the real benefits we're talking about. Not just circulation, not just coffee, not just blood vessels. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about confidence. We're talking about preserving the ability to live life on your own terms, and that matters at every age. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, the body may age, but improvement remains possible. The surprising part is that many seniors are capable of far more than they believe. The human body is remarkably adaptable. When given the right support, it often responds in ways that exceed expectations. That's a message I hope you never forget, because too many people assume aging automatically means decline. Yes, changes occur. Yes, challenges appear. But healthy habits can still make a meaningful difference. Every day presents a new opportunity to support your health. Every day presents a new opportunity to make one better choice, and those choices add up. Before we finish, I want to leave you with one final thought. The goal isn't to fear sugar-free coffee. The goal isn't to avoid every pleasure. The goal is understanding. Understanding how your body works, understanding what supports it, understanding how small daily habits influence long-term health. Once you have that understanding, you can make informed decisions with confidence. And confidence is one of the greatest gifts we can have as we grow older. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to give it a like. Share it with a friend, family member, or anyone who enjoys coffee and wants to stay healthy after 60. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do you drink sugar-free coffee every day? Or did something in today's video surprise you? Let me know below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Secrets of Health and join our growing community of adults committed to aging with strength, confidence, and independence. I'm Dr. Richard Ben. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, stay active, stay hopeful, and remember, it's never too late to make a positive change that your future self will thank you for.